I was 7 when my parents abandoned me. I still remember that cold Sunday morning. I was in the back seat of our old blue car, coughing so hard I could barely breathe. I had been diagnosed with a chronic lung disease, one that required expensive treatment. We weren't rich, but we weren't starving either. Still, I could see the fear in my mother's eyes and the frustration in my father's silence. That day they told me we were going to the park. I was so excited, I even packed my toy airplane. But when we got there, my father parked near a bench, told me to sit and wait while he went to buy ice cream. I waited, and waited, and waited, until the sun went down. They never came back. For 3 days I slept under that bench. My chest hurt, my lips were cracked, and I kept whispering, "Mommy will come back. Daddy will come back." But they didn't. On the 4th day, a woman named Margaret and her husband Henry found me. They said they had gone to the park to pray for a child. I guess their prayers were answered in the most unexpected way. They took me to the hospital, paid for my treatment, and when the police couldn't locate my parents, Margaret held my hand and said, "Then we'll be your parents now, if you'll let us." I didn't say a word. I just nodded, and for the first time in my life, someone hugged me like I was worth something. Growing up, I was always weak, but Henry would carry me on his back whenever I couldn't breathe. Margaret used to say, "Miracles come in broken packages, Daniel. Don't ever forget that." They sacrificed everything, their savings, their comfort, their time, just so I could live and go to school. I promised myself that one day I'd make them proud. And I did. By 30, I had built a tech company that grew beyond anything I ever imagined. Margaret and Henry retired in comfort, and I bought them the house they had once only dreamed of. My disease was under control and life felt like a blessing. But then, out of nowhere, the past came knocking. One morning, my assistant said there were 2 visitors at the reception, an elderly couple claiming to be my parents. I froze. I hadn't heard that word, parents, used for them in decades. When they walked in, I recognized them immediately. The same faces that once left me to die, only older, weaker, and poorer. My mother cried the moment she saw me. "Oh, Daniel, you've grown so much. We've looked for you everywhere." I said nothing. I just looked at her, my heart numb, my mind replaying that park bench, the cold nights, the hunger, the fear. My father spoke next. "We were young, Daniel. We made mistakes. But we're your parents. Blood is blood. We heard about your success. We're proud of you." Then he smiled and said quietly, "We're struggling now, son. Just a little help would mean the world to us." Something inside me broke. I stood up and said, "You left me to die. You didn't just abandon a child. You abandoned your soul that day." My mother sobbed. "Daniel, we were scared. We didn't know what to do. The doctor said your treatment would cost more than our house. We thought someone else might find you and help you." I looked at them both and whispered, "Someone did." And that someone became my real family. They begged, they cried, they even knelt on the floor. But I had already forgiven them long ago, not for their sake but for mine. So I did what my heart told me. I called Margaret and Henry over. They came, still as gentle and humble as ever. When they arrived, I looked at my birth parents and said, "These are the people who raised me. These are the people who loved me when you couldn't. You came for my riches, but they came for my soul." Then I gave Margaret and Henry the company shares I had kept for family. I turned to my birth parents and said, "You abandoned a sick boy, but God gave that boy new parents, and now they are the only ones I will ever call Mom and Dad." As they walked out, my mother turned and whispered, "We're sorry, Daniel. We didn't know you'd survive." And I said quietly, "I did, because you left." That night, I sat with Margaret and Henry watching them smile, their wrinkled hands holding each other. And I realized, revenge doesn't always mean destruction. Sometimes, it means living so well that those who threw you away have to live with the guilt of your success. I still pray for my birth parents, but I never looked for them again. Because some people lose their right to your life the moment they walk away from your pain. Moral of the story: the people who give you life aren't always the ones who give you love. Pain can either break you or build you. Real parents are not defined by blood but by sacrifice. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, it means freeing yourself. Sometimes revenge is simply living in peace. If this story touched you, kindly support us by leaving a like, sharing and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our stories. Thanks for watching.